Alright guys, welcome to my next Blender video tutorial. Today what we're going to be learning to do is something that's actually pretty easy to do with Blender, and we're going to be creating an animated outro for your videos with a YouTube video preview. Now, I know a lot of you probably think this is so boring, but I know a lot of people who have subscribed to me are actually YouTubers, and maybe they would be interested in actually knowing how to create an animated outro. You know, for example, that is a video preview that can say click here and then you can watch the video. And so in a future video tutorial, I may actually show how to make clickable buttons on YouTube. Very simple. But I'm going to be presuming that most people don't really know how to use Blender when they're watching this video, so I'm just going to keep it simple and keep it basic. So let's go ahead and get started. If you're a YouTuber and you want to learn how to make some awesome outros, I'll show you how to do that right now. So the first thing you want to do is just click somewhere. Make sure you right click on this cube and make sure it's got the yellow border around it. Just press X on the keyboard and click the delete button. Then take this lamp, right click on it, press X, delete. And the reason we're doing this is because we deleted the light because we want to make our materials and image textures shadeless in this. Because if the lighting affects it, it will look different than the actual images that we're going to be using look. It's just going to look bad. So now what I'm going to do is right click on this camera, press on the keyboard Alt R, that resets it to the default rotation, then Alt G, that resets it to the default location. So I can scroll in and out with my zoom wheel. Now if I left click and drag this up and press number pad 0, or you can go to view, camera, and wait, yeah, camera's active camera, I believe. No, it's just right here, view camera, duh. So anyway, we're in the camera view now. One thing I want to do first before we actually put some pictures and stuff in here for the outro part is I want to go right here, click right here, just drag this to the left, have a little bit more room. Click right here on this camera icon, and I want to click right here for orthographic. What that means is that it's just going to render everything that we put in the scene very flat and two-dimensional. It's not going to add any perspective to it. I found when I arrange items, and I even arranged in the right way, when the camera's rendering it with perspective, it can render them and make them look all bad and like they're in the wrong place and stuff. So orthographic will make it render things right and in the proper perspective. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an image background for the outro. If you don't want an image, you can just go right here to the world settings, and for example, just click here, and you could select, for example, a green color, press F12 to render, and you could just use a simple color as a background, or you could tweak some other settings, but I'm going to use an image as the background. What a lot of people do with Blender is they add a plane and then they apply a texture to it, but that's not really going to work for this. And the reason is because you often have to scale the plane, make it bigger or smaller on different axes, so it will fit the texture, and you can often get the texture wrong. We want to be able to import the image as a plane so that it will have the exact right dimensions that the original image has. So I don't know if I described that good enough, but you'll see how it works in just a little bit. So what I'm going to do, escape, press number pad 0 to go out of camera view, and I also want to make sure that I press number pad 5, or any of these things that I'm doing here. You can just go right here and find them here, and that's just going to switch it to orthographic view, a very flat two-dimensional type of view for this. So now what I'm going to do is there's a built-in add-on in Blender that will allow you to import images as planes. To access this, go to File and User Preferences, and in this add-on search bar, add-ons right there, search bar, just type in plane. Now I already have it checked, but you're just going to check right there, and if you want to be able to use this feature every time you open Blender, click Save User Settings. If you only want to use it this once and you don't want it to be accessible whenever you open Blender, just click the X. So now what we can do is press Shift A, add mesh, images as planes. Now we can go to where our image is, and okay, it's called unnamed.png. So I'm going to import this image as a plane. Now we import the image and it has the right dimensions, but we don't see anything. And the reason is because we're in the wrong view mode. So to fix it, I'm just going to go right down here to this just simple white ball, click there and select texture, and now we can see this. So I'm going to go to camera view again. I'm going to take this and just scale it up until it fills the camera view. I'm just going to F12 and render to make sure I got it right, and I don't. So I'm just going to scale it up a little bit more, and that's going to work just like that. So now what I'm going to do is go to this materials tab right here, this little icon right here, and I'm going to select shadeless. It was all black because there was actually no lighting to put on it. Now when we render it, it won't be affected by lighting, so that's going to make it render exactly the way it is in the original image. And this is already looking awesome. So what I'm going to do now is I'm basically just going to add a video preview right around where this arrow is right here. And it's just going to be like, just going to have like a video preview that's going to play, and people look at it, you know, they say, that's kind of cool. I'm only going to be doing one of these just for the brevity, but oh wait, nobody knows what brevity means anymore. Why did I say brevity? That's not even a word anymore. It means shortness, or that's not a word either. But whatever, you guys know what I mean. So I'm just going to go here, Shift A, add mesh images as planes. And I'm just going to go to where we have a video file now. And so the one I'm using is this one right here. It's one of my gameplay videos. So what I'm going to do, I can press S to scale it up. I don't know if I mentioned that shortcut before, and G to grab it, or I could just use these arrows and arrange it where I want to. I'm not going to put much detail into this because I just want it quick and for demonstration purposes. So now if I render, you see we have a little preview there, but we need to make it shadeless as well. So now if I render again by hitting F12, you can see right there. But there's a little bit of an issue we got right here. You see it's starting, in that YouTube video of mine, I had a video intro at the start of it. I don't want people to think that when they click on it, they're just going to see my video intro. I want it to jump ahead into a little bit of the action. And so what I'm going to do is go right here to this checkerboard pattern icon. This is the texture icon. If I scroll down, I have a few things that I can mess with right here. Alright, so I'm just going to go to this offset option, and I'm just going to type in something like 500. And now it's a little bit more into the action, and you see if I click down here and just drag through this timeline, it's actually an animated preview. But I wanted to go a little bit further where it's actually showing some gameplay, so let's try about 1,000. It's going to be 1,000 frames into it. Well, how long was my intro in that video? I must have talked for so long. I talk way too long in my videos. Alright, let's try 1,500. And that's going to work. It's going to work right there. Alright, so that's pretty cool. So, just also make sure that this number of frames is at least as many frames as you want the animation to be. And so what I'm going to do down here now, I want my animation, it depends on how many frames you want it to be, but I want my animation, not amination. I said that last time when I was preparing for this video. I accidentally said amination. I want my amination to be about 11 seconds long. So there's 24 frames in 1 second. So to make this work, I'm going to type in 11 times 24 is 264. So I want it to be 264 frames long. So again, we can scrub through it, we can render it, and it's just got an awesome animated preview right there. So let's go ahead and set up the final render settings so that you can go ahead and get your preview working. Okay, so I'm going to go right here. First of all, I'm going to take this and just drag it all the way so it's 100% resolution, the highest quality. It's going to take a little bit longer, but it's going to be better quality. If you want it to be 1920 by 1080 pixels, which is kind of like the preferred one, especially on YouTube, then that's cool. Now, if you have a GPU, you can go to User Preferences. I'm going to do this. Go to System, and just make sure I have CUDA selected, and it's going to render with my GeForce graphics processor. So now I'm going to go right here to Performance, set these tiles by 128. That's how many pixels by how many pixels it's going to render at a time. Now, this is the video format. I prefer to use AVI before I actually edit the video, then just do the final result for MP4. So I'm going to go right here now and select where I want the video to go. So I'm just going to type in video outro and accept that. And once everything's set up, you can just hit on the keyboard, Control F12, or just go right here, render animation, and it's just gonna start rendering this animation. I'll be back with you guys when it's done. So I've got this video right here now that you can see the preview. This is what it's kind of gonna look like once you've done the final render. So you see it's got the background and it's got the video preview, and then you can put a clickable button over this so that people can click on your video. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you plan on using this. This is not the only way of doing it, I'm sure, but this is the way that it works for me. It's probably one of the simplest ways, and I've used this a number of times with video editing. So anyway, oh yeah, and special thanks to my friend who made this image for me. I don't know if I would have been able to do this video without him. I'd have to find some dinky picture. But anyway, guys, thanks again for watching. I said that like 5 times, but thanks for watching. I'll see you with my next video.